Welcome on into case number 9. I will be showing this case both the inside and the outside because this one is stylized like a 3-ring binder, and you'll see what I mean before we get started here. I'll show that. This one has 2 of those 3-ring binders right there, and I think that is a very unique way of doing it. However, it does have its problems because I had to glue the rings closed because they kept opening and making a huge mess every time I would open the case, which is very annoying. And then when I glued them shut, I noticed that I accidentally had one sleeve that only one of the 3 holes was on the ring, so it's very loose. I may end up cutting the holes and gluing them back together around the ring, but I don't want to damage it, so I may not do that. I may just, I don't know. But yeah, that being said, here is the second disc of Night at the Museum 1, and I'm going to show you what I mean by the discs are darker for the trilogy pack. If it looks darker, it is not your computer, it is the disc itself. That happens on all the discs. Here's the individual for Night at the Museum 2. And here's the darker disc for the same movie. Here's 3, Secret of the Tomb. With that one, they end up having to go to London because they need King Akhmun-Ra's parents to restore the magic in the tablet because they don't know that moonlight charges it and keeps it working. Yeah, and here's the darker disc. And I have a 2-disc collector's edition of The Nightmare Before Christmas. With this one, I would like to give a shout out to my institute teacher, Brother Manwaring, for giving me that. I looked up how much this was and was extremely thankful for him giving it to me. So thank you, Brother Manwaring. You're amazing. Then we have A Nightmare on Elm Street. I just recently rewatched this one. I'll be watching Freddy's Revenge before too long, but I have sloth for all the Nightmare movies. I have sloth for the Blu-ray or 4K, regardless of how I feel about the movie. What's great? Freddy's Dead? Or Freddy's Dead. Freddy's Revenge. Wow. Freddy's Dead is not this one. I enjoyed all the original 6 Nightmare movies, the remake, and Freddy vs. Jason, and I'm just not a fan of New Nightmare. I talked about that in my previous video, so I'm not going to go too much into that here. But I did rewatch it recently. Doesn't hold up for me. Here's 3, Dream Warriors. And that one came out in 87. 84 is the original. And 85 was the sequel. And then 3 was 2 years later. And then in 88 is the Dream Master. I thoroughly enjoyed this story here. A lot of people say after Nightmare 4 it goes all downhill, but I don't think so. I think it goes downhill with New Nightmare and then goes back on track with the remake and versus Jason. Here is 5, The Dream Child. Creative way to bring Freddy back. And then A title that I admit is cheapened by the fact that they keep bringing Freddy back and killing him and bringing him back and killing him and bringing him back, is Freddy's Dead: The Final Nightmare, because it wasn't the Final Nightmare movie before they rebooted the franchise. So, here you go. That one came out in 1991, and Dream Child is 89. Then 4 discs that all look exactly the same is Freddy's Nightmare, discs 1 through 4. They all have his glove on it like that. Here is New Nightmare. Don't like this one very much. There are some creative elements in it that add to the story, like 5 claws instead of 4. But it begs the question, why? Why did they do that? That one came out in 1994, 10 years after the original movie. Then we have A Nightmare on Elm Street with Jackie Earle Haley, or something like that. Jackie Earle Haley? I don't know. Jackie Earle something. I thought they did quite well in that. I would have loved to see Return to Elm Street, the PG-13 sequel to this one, but it's stuck in limbo. Then we have No Way Out. I got confused for a second because I forgot I was watching No Strings Attached, and that goes right above No Way Out. So I do have No Strings Attached as well, but it's currently in my 4K player. So confusion disappeared. Non-Stop, a Liam Neeson action movie that takes place on a non-stop flight from, I want to say, New York to London. Then we have Northern Lights. No idea what it's about. I do want to get the 4K combo pack for Non-Stop. Then I have The Notebook. Now You See Me on DVD. Movie only. I have 2 movie onlys and then an extended cut that also has the theatrical release on it on Blu-ray. Then I have just the DVD for Now You See Me 2. Daniel Radcliffe does not make a good bad guy because he's not believable after his years of Harry Potter, which he hates being known for because it's all anyone ever recognizes him for. He is in other stuff. I recognize that. He just doesn't make a believable bad guy. I do have a slot for the Blu-ray for that because I want to get it. Then I have the number 23. The Nun 1, which I want to revisit before The Nun 2 comes out. Slot for the Blu-ray, slot for the sequel, and its Blu-ray. The Nut Job, good squirrel movie. Nut Job 2, just as fun. That one is Nutty and Nature. Nutty by Nature. See what they did there. Oblivion, never seen it. Ocean's 8 has an identical special features disc. That was a good one, female-led Ocean's movie. Thoroughly enjoyed it. Ocean's 11, classic heist film, as is Ocean's 12 and 13, also present here. There we go. Something I remembered to put the Blu-ray 4K slots open for. Old, I enjoyed watching that, by Mr. M. Night Shyamalan. Interesting story about this family and another group that gets stuck on an island where time misbehaves, and the more you eat, the faster you age. At the start of the movie, there's a brother and a sister that start off as, I think, like 6 and 7 respectively. And then there's another girl who's also 6, and I think the brother was 6. And by the end of the movie, those two have a child together because they are now 40-year-old adults. It's that kind of thing. If you're into that, check it out. If you're not, watch Blue Lagoon. Same story. Different circumstances, of course. Circumstances in that one are more like Castaway. Then we have Old School. Old Testament stories, only one disc. I don't know why it specifies. Old Testament visual resource DVDs. This one has 2. They both look the same though. Olympus Has Fallen with the slots for a 2-disc Blu-ray, because both of my other movies in the franchise have been 2-disc Blu-rays. 2 DVDs look exactly the same, because I got a standalone and the Blu-ray combo pack here. Another case where the discs look exactly the same are for the DVD and the Blu-ray, DVD, Blu-ray of Angel Has Fallen. They're identical. Great movie. I saw that with my paternal grandmother and my paternal aunt on my biological father's side, paternal. There you go. The Omega Code. I didn't understand this movie very much. And then I didn't understand this one at all either. Definitely need to rewatch those to hopefully understand them better. Maybe I'm just not wired to understand them. Then something I want to get the DVD collection of is The Omen. 4-film collection. Omen 2, Damien. Omen 3, The Final Contact. Conflict, sorry. I want to get the DVDs for those 3, as well as a DVD for The Omen 666. This is the remake. And I noticed those are 20th Century Fox properties. Hopefully they get added to Disney Plus too. Here's to hoping. On the Way Home. Sounds like a missionary homecoming story. Coming home from college or something. On the Lord's Errand with one of the general authorities of the church. I want to say that's Elder Holland, but anyway. Then identical Blu-ray and DVD for Once I Was a Beehive, a good girls' camp story that is not accurate from what I've heard, but it's still a good time. And Once I Was Engaged with identical Blu-ray and DVD. I used to just have the Blu-ray for that and only the DVD for Once I Was a Beehive, but then I got the opposite formats last time I was visiting my biological mom's side of the family. One day I went to the Tri-Cities Temple with Grandma, and afterwards we stopped by the church bookstore. I also got with that, something that'll be coming in a fan mail video eventually. Then a 5-film Cary Grant collection here. We have The Awful Truth. I'll see why these are under O in a minute, but His Girl Friday. Harold Hawks is also in that one, or he's the director or something. Then George Stevens' The Talk of the Town. Holiday. And the reason they are under O is Only Angels Have Wings. There we go. Not true, of course, birds also have wings. But, and insects sometimes have wings. butterflies, they're kind of pretty, ladybugs, etc. As far as humanoid people or characters are concerned, that is true. Only angels do have wings. Then we have Onward, the DVD, with a slot for a Blu-ray, of course. Got that one at work. Fred Meyer. Open season, copy number 1 for the first movie. And then I got a regular copy. Uncle Jeff copied the first one. Then I showed Open Season 2. I rewatched the trilogy recently. They're all pretty good. Open Season 3. One I have not seen is this Halloween special, Scared Silly. I might watch this one pretty soon. I wish Sony would allow the Spider-Man franchises, including Venom, Let There Be Carnage, the Tobey Maguire trilogy, the Andrew Garfield movies, and the Tom Holland MCU movies, to be on Disney Plus, because that's where they belong. There are already Spider-Man properties on there, like Civil War, Infinity War, and Endgame. So why not those? Disney, please work out a deal with Sony to allow them to have them allow you to put those properties on your streaming service. That would be incredible and phenomenal. Which is something you really want to hear if you're a company. Way to improve. Open Water. Stuck in the middle of nowhere type horror. The sequel, Adrift. I do not have the third one, which I think is like Cage Danners or something. Original Sin, interesting story there. Interesting. That one features Antonio Banderas and Angelina Jolie as a couple. Interesting. Then we have, with a slot for the Orphan First Kill, we have Orphan. I think First Kill would go before that, so I put a slot, a hit or before it. The Other Side of Heaven 1 and 2, based on an amazing true story of a Tongan missionary in Tonga. Both are really good movies. Highly recommend them. Then we have Our Heavenly Father's Plan right here. Probably saw that a lot as a kid when I was in primary, but I don't remember it. The Outsiders, another one I don't remember much about. Over the Hedge, another DreamWorks property. Then I have The Pacific, Disc 1 with parts 1 and 2. I do have the entire series. Part 2, or part 3 and 4 on Disc 2. Disc 3 has part 5 and 6. They all have different pictures on them. Here we go. Disc 4 has 7 and 8. And 9 and 10 are found on Disc 5. There we go. Look forward to watching that someday. The Pacifier. Thoroughly enjoyable Vin Diesel comedy there. Paddington. Paddington Bear. Paddington. As is present on the Blu-ray there. There you go. I have Paddington 2 only on DVD with a slot for a Blu-ray. Oh wait, there's no slot for the Blu-ray. There should be. Let me fix that. Kai Lost His Fire. Pagemaster with Macaulay Culkin. I've heard this is kind of like a Harry Potter style story for younger audiences than Harry Potter would be able to be understood by. Panic Room, want to watch that one soon. Pal Joey, right here, don't know anything about it, other than it's from 1957. Paranormal Activity, with a slot for a Blu-ray. Paranormal 2, slot for a Blu-ray. 3, slot for a Blu-ray. 4, slot for a Blu-ray. 5, slot for a Blu-ray. And 6, this time you can see the activity. Ghost Dimension, the 5 is called Marked Ones, slot for a Blu-ray. And then I have 2 slots saved for the, or 3 slots saved for the Blu-ray and 4K, or DVD Blu-ray and 4K of Next of Kin Paranormal Activity. That, or I have a slot for the DVD of this one, which isn't a great movie at all. Parent Trap, the original 1 and 2. Its bonus disc, which looks like a picnic nap or blanket. And Lindsay Lohan, if you think you're seeing double, you are, because they CGI'd her to look like she has a twin, and she doesn't actually. Not to my knowledge, at least. Parkland, about the Kennedy assassination. And new evidence has come to light recently that shows why he was assassinated. If you're interested in learning about that, go to And Now We Know, or the X-22 report. You should be able to find it on either of those two places. It exposes a huge amount of perfidious, deceitful, and untrustworthy lies put out by the political left and the liberals. Passengers with Anne Hathaway and Patrick Wilson, I believe. Patrick Wilson is the guy that played Orm in Aquaman, isn't it? It's the same guy in this. Then we have Passengers with Chris Pratt and Jennifer Lawrence. Great movie. Lost in Space type stuff. Not really lost in space, but in a space station. That's what I meant. The Patriot. And the extended cut. I think this is during the American Civil War. Left a slot for a DVD of Patriot Games because I have an existing Blu-ray right here. Is Patriot Games one of the Jack Ryan movies, or is it its own story? I'm confused about that. Then with slots for 2 individual Blu-rays, I have Paul Blart Mall Cop 1 and 2. I laughed so hard when I watched these with my biological father and stepmom. They are great, great movies. Great comedic value. If you like comedies and you haven't seen that, you're doing yourself a great disservice, because they are great. Paycheck. Great cast, gets me excited. It has Batfleck, Ben Affleck. It has Two-Face, Aaron Eckhart, and Poison Ivy, Uma Thurman. A bunch of Batman stars in that. How have I never seen something with a cast stacked like that? Another thing I've never seen is a movie called The Peacemaker. This has nothing to do with the character introduced in James Gunn's The Suicide Squad. It's its own thing. Not even tied to the DC universe at all. Then I have the Peanuts movie on DVD and Blu-ray. The Blu-ray has Snoopy and the Yellow Bird. I don't remember his name. Charlie Brown and one of his friends was on the first one, on the DVD disc. Then Pearl Harbor. Is 183 minutes enough to warrant there being movie on 2 discs, or is the second disc a special features thing? In any case, this is the 60th anniversary commemorative edition of the actual event of Pearl Harbor. So that is very cool. Disc 2 looks like this, with a bunch of planes flying by and someone in a tank top there. And then we have Penelope, about a girl born with a pig snout. Her mom was cursed. All she had to do was accept herself for who she was, and she looked normal again. Penny's Serenade. Don't know anything about this. It looks good. I think it's another Cary Grant title. Could be wrong. A musical disc, or not a musical disc, a CD, Pentatonix. That's Christmas to Me, which has one of my favorite Christmas songs of all time included in it. And that song is Mary Did You Know? I love that song so much. It's such a good song. Then we have Percy Jackson and the Olympians, The Lightning Thief. I heard they're going to make a Disney Plus version. I don't know if it'll be a reboot or a third installment, but I'm looking forward to that. Then we have Sea of Monsters. Maybe it will be a reboot. That would make more sense. But I have a slot saved for whatever it ends up being. A Perfect Murder. Is there such a thing? Really? Murder is wrong, but I guess there's a way to do it perfectly. And that is self-defense. Perfect Score. That one has a young Chris Evans and Scarlett Johansson in this. And a blonde actress that looks familiar, but I can't think of her name. Persuasion. Never seen it. Looks good. Not PG. Then there's Pet Sematary, the original. Have a slot for the 4K combo pack. Pet Sematary 2 has slots for a 4K combo pack. And Pet Sematary the remake, the slots for the 4K combo pack. The original Pete's Dragon. Both are in live action, but here is the remake version. I would say the live action remake, but they're both in live action. But one has an animated dragon, one has a CGI dragon. Peter Pan in the second disc. Love this movie. Classic Disney. Slot for a Blu-ray. Peter Pan 2 Return to Neverland. I love this one as well. Slot for a Blu-ray. Peter Pan with Jason Isaacs as Hook and Mr. Darling. Love this one as well. The actor who played Peter Pan in that was in You're So Cupid, which I'm trying to get. And here's the soundtrack for that Peter Pan movie I just mentioned. Then I have slot. What's going on here? I have a Pan with a slot for a DVD. And 4K, I think. And then a new live action remake is around the corner, so I have the slot for that in its Blu-ray. And then I decided to move this from the Bible section to be under P for Peter, but we have the Book of Esther, Apostle Peter and the Last Supper, and the Book of Ruth, Journey of Faith, right here. Biblical triple feature. The Phantom, a superhero story. A guy that dresses in a purple outfit. Speaking of purple outfits, in Supergirl season 2, I was watching an episode where the Parasite was introduced and he turned purple. Then we have 1940s, The Phantom of the Opera, from the 1940s era or decade. I'll say it was like 42. Then we have Robert Englund, The Phantom of the Opera. Great movie. Definitely a slasher. Horror right there on the case from Backstage Video. And then we have my definitive Phantom of the Opera with Gerard Butler in the titular role. And Emmy Rossum as Christine, looking gorgeous. And Patrick Wilson again. The soundtrack has 2 discs. Here's the second disc. The first disc is in the living room. Phase 1 videos with Man's Search for Happiness, The First Vision and Restoration of the Priesthood, which I am proud to say that I do hold. I hold Christ's priesthood. Phase 2 videos. This one has 10 presentations on it. The other one has 3. Doesn't say on the disc which one are included here, just that they're an hour and a half long. The Philadelphia Story. Looks like it's in black and white, so it doesn't need to be rated. Picture This, Ashley Tisdale, and I think that's Robbie Amell, the brother of the most recent Green Arrow from the show Arrow. He also played Firestorm for a hot minute before getting killed. Then I have the Piano Guys music. Disc 1 is elsewhere, like Phantom of the Opera Disc 1 for the soundtrack. And here is 2. Family Christmas. And since he is one of the piano guys himself, John Smid bonus tracks. Enjoy listening to that disc. The whole disc. And we have Pinocchio on DVD. The live action remake was actually done very well. The Blu-ray, disc 1. And here's Geppetto and Figaro. Figaro's the cat, right? The Adventures of Pinocchio. This is a live-action version that is non-Disney, so it doesn't count as a live-action remake. And I have slots for the Blu-ray and DVD of the new one. Then we have the Pink Panther. That one is the old version, not the Steve Martin one. Return of the Pink Panther. Pink Panther Strikes Again. I'm missing Son of the Pink Panther. And then we have Revenge of the Pink Panther. The Steve Martin one. Funny. And the sequel. The bonus disc to the sequel had 27 classic Pink Panther cartoons, which I thoroughly enjoyed watching fairly recently. Oops. Pirates Band of Misfits. Looks like a claymation story. Pirates of the Caribbean. Disc 2 has the proverbial skull and crossbones, but instead of crossbones, it's cross swords. Because why not? Dead Man's Chest. The first one is Curse of the Black Pearl. Number 3. The longest of the series is At World's End, clocking in at 169. For comparison's sake, 1 is 143, I think 2 is about the same. 4 is 136 with On Stranger Tides. And Dead Men Tell No Tales is 129. So At World's End is indeed the longest of the franchise. But it's a good movie, so I enjoy it. Pixar Short Films Volume 1, DVD and Blu-ray. Volume 2, DVD and Blu-ray. Blu-ray looks similar, but it is different, so there you go. Volume 3. Blu-ray is quite different for that one. Right here. I'm not going to be including the Pixar short films with my ranking in December, but I will have them as honorable mentions because I love all of them except for Bao. That one didn't jive well with me. I wasn't a fan. Pixels, When Video Games Attack, as Alien Life. Planes, with a slot for Fire and Rescue. Planet 51 and Surf's Up. Surf's Up will be appearing again later on. Planet of the Apes with Mark Wahlberg. I want to get the rest of the original Legacy Collection and the new ones that include this one, Rise of the Planet of the Apes. I'll probably just get them all on DVD. If I end up liking them, I'll get more formats. Platoon. Vietnam Story. Disc 2. Pocahontas. Not a Disney movie, but it is animated. Point Break. If that sounds familiar, it's because in The Avengers, Iron Man says, "You got a mean swing, Point Break." Polar Express. Disc 2. Where the Past Comes Alive, the History Channel presents The Haunted History of Halloween. Hauntings. Vampire Secrets. You'll see why these ones are here in a minute. They came in a 5-pack. Salem Witch Trials. And the reason they are in this position is Annie's Poltergeist. The Unexplained. Then we have Poltergeist 1. Poltergeist 2 and 3. I've seen the first 2 and the remake. Not watched the third one quite yet. Then we have the remake here. Remake was great. The original's great. 2 was good. This one I have not seen, Poltergeist of Barley Forest. I thought it was the remake, but it's not. Something else entirely. Then we have A Guide for Latter-day Saint Families, Pornography, The Great Lie. And a disturbing lie as well. Practical Magic. Preach My Gospel, District 1. Disc 1. There are 3 discs in that one. Yes. Then the blue version is District 2. Preach My Gospel. 2 discs. Predator with slot for the through 4K combo pack. Same with 2, 3, and 4 here, and then a slot for all 3 formats on Prey, because I'm definitely going to be getting that one. I thoroughly enjoyed that one. Check it out on Hulu if you can. 10 out of 10 would recommend the entire franchise. Predator films, even The Predator. And we have Prestige, Prelude to War, The Nazi Strike, and Normandy Invasion, The Victory. A double-sided disc. 3 discs that look the same are Presidents of the Church. I'll read off who's featured here. We have Joseph Smith, Brigham Young, John Taylor, Wilford Woodruff, Lorenzo Snow, Joseph F. Smith, Herbert J. Grant, George Albert Smith, David O. McKay, Joseph Peeling Smith, Harold B. Lee, Spencer W. Kimball, Patrick Howard Benson, Howard W. Hunter, and Gordon B. Hinckley, and Boyd K. Packer. Boyd K. Packer. There you go. He's not the president of the church, but he was at that time president of the Quorum of the 12, I believe. If any members of the church are watching this video, please correct me on that. Is Boyd K. Packer at one time president of the Quorum of the 12, or was he something else? Then we have Pretty Woman, a good Julia Roberts movie with Richard Gere. I enjoyed that one. I don't think it deserved an R rating personally, but whatever. Subject matter, I guess, prostitution made it that way. Prince of Persia: Sands of Time on DVD. And I got the Blu-ray combo pack, so I have 2 DVDs. Both look identical. And the Blu-ray looks like that. And yes, the Prince of Persia is in fact Mysterio. Timeless Tales, Volume 1. This one is under P because it has a Prince and the Pauper. And to keep them together, Timeless Tales Volume 2 is here, and there's a slot for the 3rd one. Volume 3. The Princess Bride, Special Edition. I only watched it voluntarily once, because it's not really my type of movie. Princess Diaries. Princess Diaries 2, Royal Engagement. Princess and the Frog. Prophecy Trilogy. And 2 identical copies of 4 and 5 for the Prophecy. And we have The Proposal with Ryan Reynolds and Sandra Bullock. They work well together, I think. Psycho, I want to get the DVD of. Psycho 2, I also want to get the DVD of. Same with 3 and 4. The beginning, where Norm Bates talks about why he is the way he is. Then what I want to get the Blu-ray of is the remake from the 90s with Vince Vaughn. So I can't remember the guy that played him in the original, but his name at least. Then we have Psycho Goreman. I want to get the DVD of Public Enemies. This is one that my younger brother Jaden thought I would enjoy. And when I watch it, I'll give him a shout out again in my review. Pulp Fiction. I'm sorry, did I break your concentration? Pulp Fiction. Samuel L. Jackson. The First Purge. And it's Blu-ray. I got an individual or a Blu-ray and then a combo pack and then a 5-movie DVD collection. So I have multiple copies of all of them. The Purge. I just recently watched this series, so a ranking will be coming soon. Here's the Blu-ray. Purge Anarchy. And the Blu-ray. I have 2 DVDs of Election Year. I got a Blu-ray combo pack for it. And then the 5-pack, like I said. I want to get the Forever Purge on Blu-ray right here. A slot open for that. And the 4K, I guess. Or I think I planned on it being a combo pack and left 2 slots. Regardless, I thoroughly enjoyed the Purge franchise. Pursuit of Happiness. Puss in Boots 1, there is a sequel on the way. And this one has Puss in Boots, Don Quixote, or Donkey X, and 2 others I don't remember the names of. Race to Witch Mountain. Raising Helen. Kate Hudson. Hey, Kate Hudson, Emma, my sister was just telling me about her. Rambo First Blood. The slots through 4K. Same with 2, 3, 4, and 5. Currently only have the DVDs for all of the above. Rambo 4 has 2 discs, so I will show both. There we go. I got a quadrilla cheap pack and have the first 4. Ultimate Edition, Ultimate Edition, Ultimate Edition, and 2-disc Special Edition, Collector's Box, or Complete Collector Set. And then Rambo Last Blood. But watch oh, excuse me. Ramona and Beezus. And that is the page that is loose. Rampage. With its slightly more orange special features. Rango. And its DVD. It says on the discs, disc 1 and 2. So disc 1, and the DVD is 2, so I put them in that order. Ratatouille, slot for a Blu-ray. Ready or Not, slot for a DVD. And a 2-disc 4K, it looks like. Ready Player One. Bonus disc. Real Cancun, Good Vacation movie. Real Steel. Robot Boxing, because I guess even robots like to box. Redemption, no idea what that's about. Red Riding Hood, one can only imagine what this is. Blu-ray alternate cut. 2-disc 4K. Rain of Fire. I do not have the 4K, but I have provisions saved for it. Reindeer Games. Iron Man references that in the Avengers as well. When he first meets Loki, he aims all his weapons at him, says, "Make a move, Reindeer Games." Reservoir Dogs. Here's the third one. 4. A ranking is on the way for the Resident Evil movies. I just need to watch them all first. Here's 5. 6. 7, Damnation. 6 is Retribution. And 8 is Vendetta. You can see why I haven't done a ranking of these yet, because there's so many. 9 is the final chapter, but it wasn't the final movie made. Because there is Infinite Darkness. And Welcome to Raccoon City, which is, I believe, where the rest of the franchise takes place to begin with. The restoration here. Revolutionary War 4 Heroes and Battles 4 documentary set with the Battle of Cochise Bridge, the Battle of Green Spring, Yorktown Battle for Victory, and von Steuben's Continentals, the First American Army, right there. And I have the Riddick trilogy, all director cut versions. We have Chronicles of Riddick, Pitch Black, Dark Fury, and the Chronicles of Riddick. One of these movies is only half an hour long. And The Ring, with a slot for the Blu-ray. That carries over into case 10, because this one is all done. Oops. Let me know if you guys want to see more of my minifigures. For the remaining 3 collection videos, I'm going to be having different minifigures show up in each of those. But if you guys want to see more LEGO content, then I will do so, because I kind of want to do something like that. And there is definitely a community of people that would enjoy that, both C-fowls and T-fowls and A-fowls. A-fowl, T-fowl, and C-fowl are child fan of LEGO, teen fan of LEGO, and adult fan of LEGO. Little LEGO acronym knowledge for you. As well as LEGO SNOT is studs, not on top. Which most minifigures, unless they're bald, fall under that category because their studs are covered up by their hair or other accessory. But until next video, I hope you have a good day. It is now almost 12:30 in the afternoon. I am getting hungry for lunch, so I'm gonna go fix something or find something. And keep talking movies. Enjoy this video. Like, comment, and subscribe. And share the video. And don't forget to hit the notification bell to know when more content is added, because it is increasingly more frequent, as you may have noticed.